Hello! In this video, you're going to learn all about what it means to work with Omni. We're going to cover everything you need to know when you're deciding if running your own business is right for you. So what's on the agenda? We're going to talk about, first of all, what is the Omniverse? We're going to tell you a little bit more about what it means to own your own business, aka Business Ownership 101. We're then going to talk about what do you need if you decide this is right for you. Then we're going to talk about what to expect. And last but not least, we're going to have you ask yourself some questions about whether or not this is going to be the right fit for you. So let's dive right in. What is the Omniverse? The Omniverse is an opportunity for you to work from home, set your own schedule, and be your own boss. You would be joining Omni Interactions as an independent contractor. And by doing that, you will gain access to a variety of exclusive contracts. You will work from home, providing customer service to Omni's clients. You could provide customer service over the phone, over chat, by working tickets, or by making outbound phone calls. You then earn money when you are supporting Omni's clients. So it's really critical that you understand all the pieces of running your own business and being an independent contractor. You contract with Omni to support Omni's clients. Your contract is with Omni, not with Omni's clients. You will be providing customer service from home, and that can take the form of phone calls, chats, tickets, and outbound phone calls. So why we're different? Lots of companies offer work from home. Lots of companies offer the opportunity to contract with them. Why is Omni better? Well, simply put, you can own your income. You will accrue earnings that align to your needs. We have a ton of different clients available that you could provide service for. But what makes us stand out most of all is the support, our community, the tools, the platform, all of the people that make up the Omniverse that partner with us, that are unique, communicative, have the tools and knowledge to help you succeed. You're also getting all the other benefits of working from home, being in control of your own schedule, reducing your stress, and spending more time with your family and friends. Now, we want to make sure to highlight when we talk about being in control of your schedule, you will be working hours during the time the client is open and their customers need support. So your schedule will align with the client's needs. So where do we look for contractors? We have our list of US states on the left. Feel free to pause this video if you want to review further. We also accept applications in Guatemala, and we also accept applications in the Philippines. What are some of the client opportunities available? Well, like we were saying, you can provide support in many ways, but also note, we partner with clients who need your unique skills. And so the skills that you bring to the table, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, you would take the skills you already have and the experience you already have to provide support to our clients' customers, inbound or outbound phone calls, chat, email, or ticket. And the rates earned by each client or contract are very competitive and just like other side gigs, but you don't have to leave your house. That's one of the benefits of partnering with Omni. Not only that, but the great support we were mentioning earlier. So what does it mean to own a business? We're going to talk a little bit more about what Business Ownership 101 means. Being a contractor, what does that really mean? What does that look like? What do you need to know before you make this decision to join us? So the first thing you need to know, you're not an employee. You're a business owner. You are signing a contract to do business with Omni. You are responsible for your own work, performance, quality, and success. You earn revenue and not a paycheck. And you also pay for your own background check. You contribute a portion of the total cost of the background check to Omni's background check partner. This money does not go to Omni. It goes directly to our background check vendor. That is part of the business relationship that we are building with you. One other thing to note, we will not train you how to provide customer service. We already look for you to bring those communication skills and customer service skills to the table, and you will take the skills you already have, and we will show you and give you the tools that are available with Omni and the client, and we will give you access to those tools and then show you how to use them, right? So we'll get you access to the client systems. We'll show you how to use those. We'll give you access to the Omni systems. We'll show you how to use those. And you take the systems that we are going to give you access to and show you how to use, and then you will then help customers solve their challenges using the tools and all the material we are giving you, and putting that together with your own know-how and combining your knowledge and skills and the systems that we are giving you access to. And then we also provide support. So let's talk about what support means. You don't have a manager, you don't have a supervisor. You are your own supervisor. You will have an Omni business point of contact. We provide a ton of some support, just like that community I was telling you. In fact, it's exactly like that community I was just telling you about. So within the Omniverse, you are your own supervisor. We'll give you an Omni business point of contact, and you'll have an outline of metrics and agreements of work that you will perform as outlined in a statement of work when you decide to pick a client contract with Omni. Also, one of the great things of owning your own business is you get to write off your expenses, which means when you set up your home office, your own equipment, these are things you can write off on your taxes. So this looks like running a business, bringing your technical skills, bringing your verbal and written communication skills, as well as the desire and willingness to learn and succeed. So to summarize, what you get: work-life balance, reduced stress, less exposure to germs, a more flexible schedule, and control over your life. What you bring to the table is customer service skills, your quiet home office, a self-sufficient attitude where you perform tasks and make decisions without needing help or guidance from others, and some computer skills, knowing how to use a computer, mouse, and keyboard without instructions. And then in return, Omni gives you competitive earnings, tools to support customers, technology to support customers, access to information to run a better business, and a community. So you always have someone to support you. One thing we want to make sure that you understand what you bring to the table about self-sufficient attitude. Being self-sufficient is like being able to cook a meal without having someone tell you every single step from how to get the ingredients to serving the dish. When you are making a meal, you already know that part of making that meal means going to the store, getting those ingredients, having the tools necessary to cook or bake or prepare that meal. You're going to need utensils to serve it on, things of that nature. So being self-sufficient in the Omniverse also means Omni does not tell you how to help the customer. You already know from experience what good customer service is. You already know that when you answer a phone call, you should say, "Hello, X, this is Y, and how can I help you today?" Right? And you should already know from experience how to use a computer, a mouse, and a keyboard. And then you will learn the client systems. And then along with your previous experience, you will put two and two together to help the customer who's either calling in, emailing in, placing a ticket, or calling outbound a customer to provide them the support that they need. So if this all sounds great, let's talk about what you need to have. So we talked a little bit about the home office earlier. You must have a computer. It has to be Windows 10 or 11. Some of our client contracts do allow a Mac operating system, but not all. So we really recommend a Windows copy on your computer and a hardwired internet connection. Do you see this little photo right here? This is an Ethernet cable connection that plugs into the Ethernet port on your computer. This is an absolute must-have for connectivity, speed, and reliability. Not only must you be hardwired, which means no Wi-Fi, right? So if you're connected to the internet using that little wireless logo, then that is not acceptable. You must be hardwired, and your internet must meet our minimum upload and download speeds. And last but not least, to communicate with customers and to learn how to use Omni tools, you must have a hardwired USB headset so that you can communicate back and forth as you are learning those tools. So how much do those things cost was the setup timeline. So let's talk about the background check. We did talk about the background check earlier. It is paid to a third-party vendor, Omni's background screening partner. It's about $40, and you pay it when you start your background check. Once you sign up for a contract, we'll get into what that process looks like later. A computer, internet, hardwired USB, and of course, certification time. This is where you will be learning about a particular client's systems and programs. So let's talk about more what to expect if you decide that this journey is for you. So some things that we try to make sure people understand that they consider. The gig life opportunities are on the left. The W-2 opportunities are on the right of this chart. You can see that Omni in the gig life and the contract relationship that you build with Omni, you've got some flexibility. You can work anytime you're available between appointments and your family when the client and their customers are available. Versus a W-2 job where you have to be there 8 hours a day, you can't miss any training, you have to work 37 or more hours every week, you don't have time for doctor's appointments, you cannot be with your kids if they're sick, you cannot participate in after-school activities, and you must comply with employer requirements. There's not really as much time for personal life. So if you're coming from your last job or your last experience was an employee W-2, somebody telling you where, when to work, then we want you to make sure you're recognizing what level of commitment, ownership, and drive you already have before you decide that being an independent contractor is for you. So some of the questions we like to ask people to make sure that they're prepared for this is, are you self-motivated? Can you provide a stable and quiet work environment? Are you good at helping others? Are you a good communicator? Do you want to be part of a community bigger than yourself? Are you good at managing your own time? And are you computer savvy? Do you know how to use a computer, keyboard, and a mouse? Are you serious about taking control back of your life? Do you want to continue to live the life you have now, or do you want to take control over your life? So there's a lot to consider when you decide to be an independent contractor partnering with Omni. We know it can be scary, but honestly, Omni provides the best of both worlds. We provide you a great platform, tons of opportunities to learn client and Omni systems, all the education you could want or need, a supportive community, and great earnings. So if you've heard enough and you think that this is for you, here are the 8 steps you would need to take to move forward. Now, some of you watching this might be in one of the stages, or you might have taken no steps. So here is just a quick summary. Step 1, apply to Omni. Make sure you're reviewing our Omni platform overview, you're answering some questions and taking the assessment. Step 2, make sure you watch this video about contracting with Omni and understand all the ins and outs of what we will expect from our partnerships. Step 3, once you've watched this video, we're going to give you a link to review where our client contracts are posted. When you review those contracts, you're going to need to make sure you read the gig contract overview thoroughly. That's going to have all the details you need to know to decide if that contract or client is for you. Once you've decided if that contract's for you, you're going to sign up for the one that aligns closest to your business goals. When you sign up, you're going to be asked to answer questions about what you read in both the Omni platform overview and the gig contract overview, because we want to make sure that you really understand the entire detail about what you're signing up for. Step 5, check your email for next steps, because not every contract that you sign up for will align with what the client is looking for. So you're going to want to make sure to check your email, regularly check your junk and spam. Step 6, complete all the onboarding activities to your chosen client contract, then get prepared for day 1 and then show up for day 1. So we're going to deep dive into each of these stages next, but for a general overview, here are the 8 steps you can expect if you've never applied to partner with Omni before. So let's do a deep dive, shall we? So this slide talks about applying to partner with Omni. You're going to need to make sure you set aside about 30 to 45 minutes to complete the application and its attached assessments. You must be in front of a computer to complete the assessment portion, which is the last step of the application. This assessment is to evaluate your computer skills and your typing skills to make sure you come to the table with the skills you need to support Omni's clients. And remember, you're not applying for a job. The information you are providing is going to be used by Omni to verify you meet our clients' needs and that we can partner with you. You will have to make sure you're using the same email address throughout the life cycle of your partnership with Omni. Make sure it's a professional email and you always have access to it. Using this email address helps us contact you quickly, and we can easily track your application and provide you a more efficient process. And the graphic of those things I just explained is on the right. So once you've applied, we're going to verify if you meet Omni's clients' needs. And if you meet their needs, we're going to invite you to view Omni's clients' contracts. It'll come over email. You're going to want to make sure you check your junk and spam and your inbox. The email will be titled Omni Select a Contract Next Steps, and a sample email is on the right. Once you've gotten this email, you're going to want to watch the video included in full. Make sure you understand all the topics we cover, because we're going to be asking you questions when you sign up for a contract to make sure you truly understand what you're committing to. The next thing you're going to do is click the link to log into the lobby, and then that is where you're going to review all posted client contracts. So once you have watched the video, reviewed the posted client contracts, how do you know you're in the right place? So here's a screenshot of what the gig client contracts look like. You'll know you're in the right place if you see this picture on the top. It should say find a gig. You're going to want to review the contract overview. You're going to want to make sure you read that document thoroughly. Make sure you review all the details. Sign up for the one that fits your skills and availability. Note, you can only sign up for one contract at a time. If you're already signed up for a contract, we're going to remove your registration from the newest one you signed up for. This is why it's really critical for you when you review all the details, you're reviewing everything and you're only signing up for the one you know you can commit to. When you're reviewing the gig contract overview, we have a sample calendar here on the left. And what you want to make sure you look for are the certification schedule and all the different things that will be done during that certification. You want to make sure to look at how long Earn and Learn will last. You want to make sure that you understand the hours of operation for the client. And you want to make sure you understand at each stage of the life cycle for that contract, what the expectations for you as a contractor are. So in certification, typically you're going to see a list of dates and times that you will need to check in with the facilitator, any deadlines for completing any modules or assessments. And remember, we're not training you on how to provide customer service. We're not giving you scripts on how to help the customer. We're giving you the tools you need to take your own customer service skills and then the tools that the client and Omni provides, and then put that knowledge together to provide support to the customer. Last but not least, you want to make sure that you are looking at all the dates, any of the check-ins, any of the completion deadlines, and all of the different components that you're going to be asked to contractually commit to completing. So let's talk about what would be in a client contract that you would have to sign. So let's look at what is in the gig contract overview and the SOW. So there's going to be a few things. One, how long is the contract expected to last? Two, what is the revenue structure for this contract? Three, what are the metrics? What metrics are you going to be asked to adhere to so you can maintain the quality of service as expected by the client and by Omni? The learning path, we covered that on the last slide. What does your learning journey look like? What are the timelines to complete each phase? When are the module due dates? And when do you need to complete all activities? And last but not least, the hours commitment. How many hours a week are we asking contractors on this client to work? And make sure that you are available to service the client during the hours of operation that you see in the gig contract overview. So it's really important to remember, once you choose your hours, showing up to service the hours you schedule is imperative. Respecting your commitments as a contractor with the commitment you're making to Omni is critical. So once you reviewed the gig contract overview and you say, yep, this is for me, I'm ready, what's next? Once you sign up for a client contract, you're going to, as we mentioned, review the gig contract overview, and then you're going to answer some questions about making sure you understand, and then you're going to submit your registration. If you qualify for that client contract, because remember, just because it's a fit for you doesn't mean it's also a fit for the client. But if it is a match, then you're going to get an email pretty quickly from the Omni contract support team. And we are going to send you an email with some really, really important information. We're going to be asking you to complete paperwork, identity verification, a background check, setting up your home office, and making sure you fully understand the commitment you are making. Once you complete all 4 of these things, we consider you rostered. What does being rostered mean? That your name is submitted to the client, you are locked into this contract. So let's dive in a little bit more deeply to what being rostered means. So when you complete and clear your background check, your drug test, if it's required for the contract, note, not every client requires a drug test, ID verification and paperwork, our contract support team makes sure that there's enough people ready to be credentialed and given logins for that client. And so we will conduct an audit and then submit a list of names to the client to set up both Omni tools and client-specific tools. Once that final roster is done, we send you an email and let you know, hey, you're officially held accountable for the commitment you are making. And so there is a gap in the period of time between when you are rostered and when your class starts. And make sure you're always checking your email. Regular communication is critical. You're going to want to inform Omni at any stage if there's any scheduling conflicts or changes in your availability as soon as possible. So what does day-to-day life look like after you are rostered? First, as we've mentioned, monitoring your email, making sure that you are checking your email for any communications we send. And then a few days before class starts, we're going to be sending you your Omni logins. along with download instructions for all of the tools you will need to have ready before day one. You will also be making sure your home office is ready to go before your first day. So making sure you update your computer with any optional and mandatory Windows updates, connecting your hardwired internet, making sure your USB headset works. And one really important thing that not a lot of people talk about is setting boundaries and work hours with any family or roommates when you are getting prepared to learn. One of the other things you're going to do is learn a little bit more about Omnipedia, which is Omni's knowledge base. You're going to use this regularly to search for answers about things. And then, of course, reminding yourself about what running your business entails. And then last but not least, we're going to be communicating with you over Microsoft Teams, Omni email, and text. So once your contract starts, what does that look like? Back to the gig contract overview. Your responsibilities: show up for day one, attending certification, making sure you are adhering to any of the commitments and the deadlines as outlined in the gig contract overview. And as a reminder, earnings are not accrued or paid during the certification period. Earn and learn is when you begin accruing and getting paid for the work you're putting in to support customers. And then once you finish that earn and learn period, you then move into production, and that's when your metrics begin to kick in. Note, earnings time, payout, all of that varies by client contract, and all of that will be covered in the gig contract overview and the statement of work you will be signing as part of the sign-up process. So when we talk about background check and we talk about getting ready to be rostered, when we talk about back here, must-dos after you sign up for your client contract, those are the things we're talking about. So then once you graduate into production, what does day-to-day running of your business look like? Daily, you're going to be checking Microsoft Teams for updates to processes and client systems. You're going to be logging on to support customers. You're going to be taking calls or working tickets. You're going to be checking all the communication methods that Omni uses for any new updates or information. And as we mentioned, that could include text, email, or Microsoft Teams. Every week, you're going to want to make sure you check your earnings statement and ensuring your hours serviced match your records. You're going to want to make sure you're scheduling your minimum amount of hours needed to service the client. And then also communicating with the account support if your business plans on not having any hours for that week, because we all know life happens. You've got pre-planned trips, you have appointments. If you are planning to not work any hours for a whole week, that is when you need to communicate with Omni, so we are not expecting you to support the client's customers. Other than that, unless you notify us, we are going to expect every contractor servicing a client schedules the minimum hours as outlined in the gig contract overview. Every month, we're going to ask that you update your equipment to have the latest software updates. And then semi-annually or annually, we're going to ask that you renew your SOW or take any cross skills to learn any new client tools. So what to do if life happens? What to do if life gets in the way of your contractual obligations to Omni's clients? Well, the very first thing we want is for you to communicate with us. As we mentioned, unless you tell us that you will not be available the entire week, we're going to expect that you schedule and work the minimum amount of hours listed in your gig contract overview and your SOW. If you do not communicate with us and you decide to just not communicate as a business owner, we reserve the right to terminate your SOW with that client. And we also reserve the right to terminate the master services agreement with Omni. So we ask that you communicate. This cannot be understated. So all of that being said, let's talk about what you need to look at to determine, is this the right fit for you? As we mentioned, self-motivation, time management skills, being organized, knowing how to use a computer, keyboard, and mouse, providing that stable and quiet work environment, wanting to help people, investing in yourself, the skills that you bring to the table and the tools we're going to share with you and the community we provide are going to change your life. So we want you to invest in yourself, and we want you to come to the table and work with us and build a community and build a partnership. We also are looking for people who have clear communication skills and who want to be part of this growing community of independent contractors. Omni is not for you if you want someone to train you exactly on what to say to a customer. It's not for you if you pick hours you can't work. It's not going to be for you if you cannot prioritize your commitments. It will not be for you if you don't have a quiet workspace. And it will not work for you if you don't have your own computer, hardwired internet, or you're not independent or proactive in finding your own answers. The Omni community will always be here to support you, but we also need you as a skilled contractor to be able to start by finding your own answers. And if you are unable to find answers, then the community is here to help you. So the types of people who typically choose this work from home contractor lifestyle: anyone seeking work-life balance, people who want a supplemental income, those who want to start their own business but aren't sure where to start, military attached folks, those that stay at home, those that care for others. We hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you still have questions or need live help, we have live support available Monday through Friday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll put the links to that live support in the show notes. You can also email the Gig Talent team. Our address is talent@oiteam.com. We respond to most emails during the same business day, but make sure you allow up to 2 business days for a response. Thanks for your interest in using the Omni platform, and we hope you want to join the Omniverse and come partner with us. So your next steps, we will put a link in the show notes to make sure you check our client listings for contracts to review and all the different life cycles we talked about as you partner with Omni.